Welcome to the Tuesday special session, budget session of the City Council meeting. I'm calling this meeting to order. Misty, roll call, please.
Morris,
Yes.
O'Brien,
Yes.
Weir,
Yes.
Smock,
Yes.
Clements.
Here.
I'll take a motion to approve the February 3rd, 2026 agenda, please.
Motion to approve?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 4 is FY27 budget discussion. I believe that we pretty much finished up with the police. We're doing some more research, just a couple different things to kind of keep you posted. The SRO contract, we're looking into that. One, the chief is going to see if we can get more funds for that position. Otherwise, the contract is actually only for 32 hours. So, though, that's something that, we'll have more information. I kind of wanted to see, what others around us are doing. So I tasked the chief with that. So, we'll look at their request and anyone have any thoughts on that?
Did everyone kind of get the whole thought process? Because I know, like, our conversation was mostly offline
Yeah,
with it as far as why we're looking at it or where it came from.
right.
Because I'm happy to kind of loop in that too of the ideas we were poking at.
I guess I'm not
Okay,
aware.
no, and happy to. So, really just, if we're looking at a potential new officer, if we're looking at potential higher dollar costs, where does that come from? And then, where is our current salaries and positions and hours all going? So I ran several different ones with the mayor on, is the 10-hour shift, is the 8-hour shift? So we revisited that again, just how do we bring it all together? The mayor also received some feedback saying that adding a 9th officer still wouldn't be enough to get to it. It really should be 10. Well, okay, now we're talking 2, so we played with numbers that way. Everything circled around. The one thing that came out of it was the SRO payroll basically obviously only covers it for the school year. So we've got a few months in the summer that of course we're employing an officer and can use them elsewhere on the streets. I for one, love the fact that young kids and middle school kids and stuff that get exposure to police, I'd rather have them on the fun side to know that they're more friend than enemy, and kind of learn and grow up with that. So I'm a big proponent personally of the program. So it's not that we want to say, no, we're not going to put an officer in the schools, but we found out that it was really 32 hours. Well, we're populating it for 40 hours. We have an officer during the school, short of holidays and spring break, Christmas break, but we put him in the schools. I think that's great, but the salary then doesn't match even just for the school years. So we have seen a lot to where different agencies have pulled out, and then in this case Waterloo would then go back to and have to, if they choose to continue with it, would have to provide an officer, and they would keep the grant as opposed to us. So just looking at everything around, just to be responsible to our citizens and our taxpayers, of that's an officer that we have during the day, that even though you have 9 officers that we're trying to get to, technically you don't have one for the school because they're in the school. And yes, the officer in this case, Officer Taylor, if a more urgent or higher level emergency does come out, he absolutely has broken away. If an officer's tied up, he can come out. He obviously can come help. But his goal is to be in the school rather than patrolling the streets. So just high level, what does that look like? Can we get a payment to help the salary costs? Are we better off to keep him on the streets? Just wanting to look at all the options if we're out there to do it, just to say that we did look at all options. And that's kind of where it came from, trying to run all these numbers.
Yeah, 8 hours. That would be what? How many hours a week that we're donating, if you will?
8 hour, yeah.
Yeah, an 8-hour shift, yep, is where it's at. Because I think the way it was at was, it was elected just because the school isn't the full 8, but the officer could be there for 6, which then would put it into 5 days. And I mean, it's kind of broke out a bunch, but Officer Taylor is full-time in the school, which again is great. I personally feel he seems to be very good with the kids and the staff.
He does a great job there.
Yeah, I mean, he loves what he does in that capacity. So it is certainly not anything to penalize. This is purely just, if we're gonna look at the numbers and play scenarios, fine, we'll play all of them to make sure that we can, at least in my opinion, hold true to our citizens and the taxpayers to say, hey, we looked at all these different things.
Right.
This is what we decided to come up with. We at least
Yeah.
had it in front of us rather than just going, keep it the same, don't do anything. So that's really where it came from. And yeah, the mayor and I probably spent, that was a good 45 minutes, an hour, just punching through numbers and what about an 8-hour? Where are we losing this? Where are we gaining this? So, and that was just a concept that came out. And with the grant coming up, it was a good time to start looking.
Right, because the contract for the SRO ends this year,
Or
so.
yes, the contract, not grant. So
Yeah.
just
Right,
contract with Waterloo Schools.
Yeah.
Not grant.
yep.
How long is the contract?
This last time it was 2 years.
So was it 2-year?
Yep, this last time was 2 years, so. Any other additional questions or comments regarding the police budget at this time?
I don't think I had PD. I think I was good there. SRO was the only one I had highlighted.
Okay. Emergency management, that's your 001-5-1030. We always plug in 1,000 for siren maintenance, because if we do need to come out, a lot of times it's just to change batteries. That eats that up really quick. Electric expense, because we have to power our sirens. And last but not least, the professional fee goes to Blackhawk County Emergency Management. So that's budget. Didn't change that much. There was just a little bit of up for Blackhawk County Emergency Management.
How many sirens do we have?
2. One at $544,000 at the water department, close to you.
Yeah, right across the street.
And the other one is in Casebear Heights Park. And they're expensive to replace. We have found that out too. Next, first and foremost, is fire department and fire department wages. I emailed that out to all of you. And we had a personnel committee met yesterday regarding that, but Ryan or Travis, do you want to come up to the podium and talk to that increase?
No, he sold you out.
Or both? Just as far as, your justification, volunteer fire department increases, I sent that over to the council. I also, figured it in what it would be. It would be about an increase of, you're looking at about 46,000 to up all those, if we were to go off our normal, where we're at right now.
46,000,
47.
47,000?
Yeah.
Okay.
So when you go from, especially ambulance calls, there's, like, you did 192 ambulance calls last year. So it's substantial.
Yeah.
Yeah. So go ahead, give the council your,
Just trying to keep people motivated to show up for calls. Our personnel's down. In low 20s maybe, Justin? Somewhere. I don't know. Yeah, offhand, but yes.
Yeah. it's on
9
the lower end.
EMTs and 6 drivers.
Somewhere, yeah. A couple new people too, but
That, yeah, we've got a few new bodies, but I mean, it's,
We got a couple
Yeah.
new people just coming on, but we're doing a record amount of calls this year. Last year, we actually we broke another record amount of calls, and we have less people now than we've had in quite a few years here.
just trying to get a little incentive to,
And like we
Show
said
up.
on there, and like Ryan pointed out on some of those, some of these, rates of pay haven't changed in at least a decade.
yeah. I don't even know when the assistant fire chief ever had a change.
I don't know if it ever has, as far as I've been around, or,
I'm not aware.
I don't know.
Yeah, that was a understandable point out, where that was concerned.
How many people, or how many volunteers are on the fire department?
Like
22, 23 maybe, somewhere in there.
And how many are the ones that show up to calls? Like, I'm sure you have,
We have a schedule we try and keep, but as far as filling that up all the time, not always, don't always get done. So there's probably 5 maybe that really show up for the empty spots, and
When something doesn't get filled, Ryan, it gets pointed out by Ryan, and we try to get people as much as he can through messages and whatnot to fill in when they can, and otherwise it's just, then we just gotta fill in the
pray
blanks.
somebody shows up.
Yeah.
Do you require a minimum
Yeah.
shifts?
Yeah, we usually try one a week and a couple weekend shifts, but some people, their work schedule and just don't work out, you know. So we try and accommodate for what we can, and
We've even got a few people that have moved out of town and they've actually decided to stick around, and every once in a while they actually spend the night at the station.
yeah.
Just because they don't live in town anymore, so we've got a couple of them that'll stay on like a Friday night or something like that, and they'll actually spend the night at the station.
do you think raising the money on the calls will increase people? Why not
Okay.
just reward the ones that show up, leave the pay the same, and then let people work up to the, because the same people are gonna get burned out, so you might as well make it worth their time.
If you wanna figure out how to figure that out, let me know.
Well, I don't,
'Cause I can say, well, you show up for more calls than you do, so we're gonna give you more. Yeah, like somebody, Justin, he's busy like typically every day of the week. And
yeah,
I won't expect him to,
Yeah,
I mean, it's-
100% fairness. The chief and his wife, as I mentioned in the last council meeting, put me to absolute shame, just because of our schedules and things that, heck, I was super thrilled that this Friday, I'm able to pick up a couple hours for another guy that was supposed to be on call so he can go do a daddy-daughter dance that got sprung last minute. That's huge for me, you know, just to even have a couple hours, be like, hey, I'll help. And Travis as well. So yes, the long and short of it is,
well,
I'm hitting basically my minimums more or less,
Well,
just
you
to
know,
make sure I'm doing my
the
shift.
thing
but-
is, no one's joining, and the people that constantly show up are at some point gonna get burned out.
Yep.
I mean, so why not reward them, and,
Well, and in all fairness, it does reward them because they're gonna be getting more every call they make.
but do you think that's gonna motivate them to come to calls where they didn't before?
It's something.
I was like, gotta try
Better
something.
Yeah,
What we're doing
yeah.
now, we're not doing too good at,
Yeah.
so. And we've give very few calls away.
And it's not just
How else,
you
no.
guys, it's
Yeah.
all.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Statewide EMS is terrible.
I call 4 of my buddies that are in other towns, and they go, well, if you guys figure it out, let us know, cause, I mean, New Hampton, they got Mennonites.
The majority of the state is volunteer,
Yeah.
and some of them are purely volunteer, and they're struggling even worse than
Yeah.
we are, some of those departments.
You guys pay for fire calls too, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, we do get an amount.
Cause there's some that they're firefighters, like for a fire call, they don't have, like, pay,
Yeah.
it's volunteer.
Yeah.
We get a certain amount, if you look at the paperwork that, she probably sent to you, we get a certain amount for the first hour, and then it's.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Can you offer a bonus for anything above the minimum requirement as an incentive?
If you wanna figure out how to do that, let me know. I wanna know where to start, where to stop, you know. It's not
We
fair to
tend
some
not
people
to wanna
adjust.
do
Yeah.
that.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, members only get paid if they show up to a call or a training meeting, right?
Right.
You pay for training
Right.
Yeah.
meetings too, yeah.
The shift that
I know
are
you used to.
on call for, if you don't get a call at all, you will get that minimum, whether you make that first call or not, and then after that, it will add up. So if you get 6 calls in a night, then obviously you make I guess what you call a decent amount at that point, but just for you being on call, not being able to leave town, being there, you get that little amount, whether you get 1 call or 0, but you have given up an entire 12 hours for that $15. And we have, like the chief said, we've got people that live out of town, and we're thankful that we can get a guy on a Friday night to spend the night. So we can't expect him to just randomly show up Monday through Thursday. We're just happy that we got a guy on Friday night,
Yeah.
you know?
Did that answer your question, Sandy?
Yeah, so really, just changing the rate is the easiest way.
It's,
And then it's only spent if that individual goes on a call
Yeah.
or comes to a meeting and participates.
Yeah,
Right.
right. I mean, well, alternative, we can hire another full-time person to cover the weekends, which would cost how much more? I mean, it's, and not saying the pay's gonna be a solution to everything, but,
It's a thought that's, I mean, crossed people's minds a couple of times. I know we've talked, I know me and Justin have spoke about it once a long time in the past, and it's a thought that's come up, that if it keeps dwindling like that, and we keep having problems, it might be something to consider someday. As of right now, we're keeping it together, and we thought that this would be the easiest, most direct solution to try to help, but,
hopefully.
yeah, hopefully.
What do you do if you don't have coverage? What would we have to do?
Pray somebody shows up, or
Typically, they'll do
Mercy
a-
one's available, or,
They'll do a secondary call, and if they don't, then they'll shoot down the line, and either Mercy One or Waterloo or somebody else gets it, and then we have to, the city, we have to pay them to take care of our calls.
and Waterloo does now charge $300 per call here, so,
And doesn't Mercy One charge 150 or?
for mutual aid, Waterloo just charge it if they come out here. Even if they take the patient and collect the insurance off them or the payment,
Still charge?
we've had a nearby town that has over abused that by all means, and
Yep.
Right.
Basically, if they hit our city limits, there's a bill coming, even if they get turned around, so. It's just, and I think it was their stance on, they have a career, full-time department, and us volunteer agencies, we'll call it, we're relying too much on them, type of thing. So in comparison, it's a similar argument of what Evansdale PD brought to us, saying we rely too much on county. You know, and county could come back and say, we're gonna start charging you because we're in your town all the time. So similar thing here, and I think that's what Waterloo just said and did, says, you can use this, but we're just gonna bill you every time, so.
And with the call volume going up like that, it's, yeah, like we got told today by our full-time paramedic, or not today, the other day, that we broke another record on the amount of ambulance calls we've done in a year, so. Keeps going up.
Is there any kind of metric anywhere that says per 1,000 people or per 10,000 people, you need to have this many staff?
Actually, we're only required to have fire.
In the entire state, short of some of the counties or townships that have now passed the levy to support EMS, EMS is not a required or what's known as an essential service in the state of Iowa.
Yeah.
Meaning that no entity that taxes its citizens must provide EMS coverage. So the fact that we have an ambulance, which you would think is kind of a requirement, is not required.
I didn't know that.
Right.
Been a huge battle in the state for years to try to get some sort of state level funding, because what you're seeing is, just imagine if we lost our ambulance. We at least have a benefit of, okay, we contract with Waterloo, something we're close by. The little tiny communities that are out in the middle of nowhere that aren't close to a hospital either now have to send an ambulance that, and no joke, 30 to 40 minutes away before they get to you, and then have to turn around and get you back in. That's what the state's looking at. So, I mean, at that point, if you're having a heart attack, you chance it yourself and you drive to the hospital and just pray you make it.
Well,
just climb in a body bag, zip it up.
And that's the sad part of it. Fire and police are, and that's why we obviously haven't built it in the tax, but EMS still is not recognized in the state of Iowa as an essential service.
all right.
Strange.
Yeah, it doesn't seem. to
I'm
make
sure
a lot
our
of sense.
citizens would argue that point.
I'd argue that.
I mean,
If we didn't have
I don't-
one, I'm
I've
sure
never
there'd
had
be
to use it,
uproar.
But I guarantee you, if somebody in my family's in this town and there's something comes up and we can't get an ambulance to it, I'm on the department, I'd be pissed. So, go ahead.
I was wondering, do you want me to go over those that we discussed yesterday? The kind of the in-between, we're coming back to you and
Oh, that's
saying.
fine, yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
So the driver would go from 10 to 15. That's kind of a no-brainer. The EMTB would go from 15 to 20 instead of 15 to 30. The EMTA, which is the advanced, would go from 18 to 25. Same with your,
Paramedic.
paramedic that is doing the EMT part-time position.
Volunteer.
The volunteer.
What's the difference between the paramedic A and B? One
The,
can give drugs.
the
the other
A
one
is
can't.
advanced. No, it still can't give drugs,
You
but
can-
they
oh, you
can do
can, I'm
everything
sorry.
but.
We can. So effectively, there's 3 levels in the state of Iowa that are recognized. EMT, so the BAs and all those aren't. It's EMT, advanced EMT, and paramedic. And effectively, each level has additional skill sets and things that they can do. EMT being the bare minimum to put our ambulance on the street. And we are fortunate enough that we've had members, and no, I'm not patting myself on the back, but we have had
You should.
members go through all the way up to paramedic, whether it was our full-timers, or we've even had many people in the time that we had several paramedics on that could provide that. Just EMT by itself requires a tremendous amount of, even though we pay for it, personal time and study, and you gotta go pass the test. Each level beyond that, including paramedic, is that much time again. But yes, different abilities and skills.
We do have a couple of registered nurses that it transfers over to a paramedic level that they can provide.
Yep. So effectively, I think, and where you may be going with that, Jeff, was EMT, B or EMTA, in this case, EMT, advanced EMT and paramedic, why, and it's this way now, there's a difference in that pay
Yeah,
structure.
that's what I was wondering.
Yeah, is why.
Different
is-
skill levels.
Yep, it was something that was years ago of just rewarding of just, hey, you not only, you have to start, everyone has to start EMT, and then you can either go to advanced or jump right to paramedic, but you have to have the EMT. So it was really a thought years ago when
Excuse me.
Kent was chief of, well, you took the extra time, you invested in it, you got it done, you passed it to serve our community. You shouldn't make the same as a driver, because they don't have to have all that training. So it was just kind of an incentive to get people through that as well.
Just kind of the other part for you, you go get another certificate, you get a little extra. Same concept, just.
Yep.
So we do the fire ambulance training meetings would go up to 15 from 10 as requested. Fire calls would go from 10 to 15 as requested. And second hour call would go from 10 to 15 as requested. I don't even think we need a second hour on there anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just the same, it's just per hour.
Yeah.
With the full-time paramedic, instead of 26 to 32, we'd be willing to go, a $2 increase, up to 2806. And I say this is me and the personnel committee, so the rest of the council hasn't heard this. So I'm just throwing this out there. And then we would do a 5%, for 4 years thereafter, each year, instead of his typical 3.
Oh, I didn't put that full-time on there at all.
You did.
No, I didn't. Part-time. one that
The
covers for him.
part-time the EMT part-time would go from 16 to 25.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't put nothing on there about Rob, though.
Yeah.
Well, he got included, it looks like.
Okay, but either way, sure.
He's where everybody else in the city has had that boost.
Yeah.
He's the only one that hasn't.
Okay.
Is that, and other council members?
Yes, that was very much a draft. It was
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
they threw out, $47,000 all at once was like, ooh, yeah, we would love to make more, but I was even like, it might be a whole lot right away.
Yeah, I
So
didn't
we
want-
just kind of shot a draft. And again, we totally understand that wasn't what you guys were asking for. It was just, here's some numbers, let's try it. So,
Yeah, we didn't wanna overkill it, like I said, some towns they're getting $50 a call, some towns are getting nothing, it's kinda,
Yeah.
we didn't wanna get
But
greedy
that
and say,
town that was getting 50, wasn't it up to 4 hours?
no, that's LaPorte City, they're just for an
Oh.
ambulance call they get.
Okay.
The fire calls, you get like 40 up to like 4 hours or something, something to that effect anyway, and,
So the $50 a call doesn't help them any.
oh, no, no.
Unless they're there 4 hours or more, yeah.
No, the $50 just for an ambulance call, just for,
to go on it.
yeah, if they show up.
So the one thing I'm gonna share, just because we kind of touched on it again, and I will apologize to the chief and assistant chief here, because they're trying everything they can, so I don't want this to come out because it does counter their argument. And I don't mean it to, but I want to state this because while this is still a potential positive change to do what Jeff even said of rewarding those that are showing up and kind of promoting a little bit more of a boost, I don't think this will show a pattern of increasing the head count. As Dottie and the mayor and I discussed yesterday, the things that I've seen, I think others have seen, simply just in the volunteerism of the society that we live in, money's not a motivating factor for that new thing. So again, and I hadn't had a chance to talk with the chief or the assistant, so sorry for springing this on you guys. I don't want it to necessarily say, well, let's not do anything here. I will preface that, but as far as this is probably more to help those, like Jeff had said, already showing up and doing the thing versus recruiting new coming in. You may get a couple. You know, I'm not saying it's completely fruitless, but the item that Travis brought up earlier, or the chief brought up, is we may have to look at weekend coverage of some kind of part-time paid per hour EMT that's at the station like our full-time paramedic. As much as I don't want to see that, as much as we've been so fortunate to subsidize all that by volunteers, I just don't see right now the day that everything's ebb and flow, and man, we're just really struggling to get back to the other way. I hope I'm wrong, I really do. So I just want to throw that out there, that big picture, as much as I would love to say, hey, we go to this, even the big fay, $50 a call. Mayor, I think you hit it right. The port's doing it, and they're struggling worse than us. I don't think that'll be the fix. It ain't gonna hurt, especially those that are showing up already.
Yeah.
But just to put on the council's plate, there still very well may come a time that we may have to look at some other full-time, part-time, full-time, actual paid body again versus that volunteer paid on call, so.
And we have tried the part-time on the weekends too, and that was a miserable fail.
Okay.
Because everybody can go work at their own service for overtime, as opposed to come here and get less.
Right,
I found that out real quickly.
okay.
So we did have approved at one time to get part-time in there and nothing. We got, everybody said, oh, I can just stay working here and make a lot more, and fair enough, so.
Well, and we had it at that lower rate though. Right,
I don't remember what it was.
18, $20 an hour.
Somewhere in there.
16,
The part though, okay.
16.
So that definitely, you ain't
Yeah.
gonna get nobody when they're gonna go into their full-time, and that was already 30 an hour, and now they're gonna get time and a half, and now they're at 45 an hour. Our 16 isn't gonna get, they're not even gonna come close. So certainly that was one that I was very much in favor for, is when we're covering for our full-time paramedic who's out on PTO, when we're covering for him because he has the holidays off or things like that. Even at I think the 18 that it was, or 16, either one that was far below anything. So even just getting that up to 25, there are so many other things out in the community with Cattle Congress, private coverage, the hockey games, private coverage, sporting events, private coverage that just contract direct with the person. We're making way more money out doing those things. So we were far, far below expecting anybody to come in and cover us on the fully paid hourly wage.
What do we currently do for recruitment?
Beg?
Where?
Out flyers, we put out flyers at all of our events. We put applications out at all of our events. We literally walk up to people and say, you look like you'd like to be in the fire department.
I'm not kidding.
I have had people I knew moved into Evansdale, and I dropped off a, application at their door.
You guys don't do like a junior program, do you, for like high school kids to try to get them
We did,
in young?
we did it one time. It was,
No benefit.
no,
Kinda
a
looked at
couple,
some
but
of it, but
So it was done through the Boy Scouts of America.
Yeah.
It was called their Explorer program. It was a really cool program, as they do with many different types of jobs. Our last successful venture of that program was my brother, who is now 36,
in the 30s, yeah.
37.
same age as me, 37,
So just to show, it was successful. I think we got 3 or 4 out of that. But then same thing with Boy Scouts. They just didn't have the interest and the level to get in. So we discontinued it at that time.
What's the minimum level of training that we will hire, so to speak?
None.
0. Willing to show up.
We
and
all
learn.
had, we all had none, we walked in there,
And age?
Yep.
18.
Okay,
Yep.
Yeah, probably the biggest thing is gonna be just the physical, just to make sure that your health is good enough to be put in situations that are a little higher stress than normal. And just making sure that, yeah, when we're hauling somebody else in the ambulance, you don't join them.
so essentially physically fit, reasonably anyway. Breathing.
Yeah, exactly.
Willing and
exactly.
able,
Yep.
Willing to
and
learn.
above the age of 18 is all the requirements
A
are.
lot of times,
Yep.
people will come to us with no training at all, and we'll, look wherever they're having training in the near area, and then we will get them the books and things that they require and send them to that training. And then, after they've been with us for a little while, if they decide they wanna be an EMT, then they sign up to do that. And usually they agree to be with us for a couple of years when they do that, but
So you would qualify, Adam, to.
If
that's what you're asking.
Time, yeah.
Now,
I would love to.
and
Well, then.
to that point, you're not required to go to EMT school. You can still, we still need 2 people on the ambulance. An EMT is a minimum, and the other we just simply call a driver. And I don't mean to belittle that position, because our drivers are valuable as well. But they don't have to go through all the extra school. So if that's something that doesn't interest you, and you're fine still helping being that extra set of hands, and then clearly driving to the hospital when we're the caregivers in the back, that's it. They need to know CPR. We teach you. Same thing on the fire side. Do we need everybody to show up on a fire scene? Absolutely. We need a lot of bodies. But that doesn't mean you have to be the one to suit up and go in the burning structure. We still need plenty of people on the outside too. We need people to help with the ambulance, for our people. So it isn't to where being on the fire department requires all of those different things. There's so many specific jobs that we'll find a place
There's a
for
spot
pretty
for
much
everybody.
anybody. Yep.
Well, just
So
as
we-
in somebody like me as an EMT, we have a training for the medical side every month, and we have to pretty much attend all those. If you wanna keep your license, every 2 years I have to renew my license, and that money comes out of my pocket too. If I wanna go to other training, cause I need more, some of the people, especially like the paramedics and stuff too, they have a lot more training that not even the training we give is enough. They have to go outsource it, go pay for it, do it online, go find it, and that's all just to keep licensed. And we have our, fire department training every month as well, and we've got our meetings that we have, and then all the other.
So that answers my question, that we don't pay for your guys' training?
Typically, yeah.
Well,
Depends what,
yeah, the training that we do get that amount she was talking about. I don't know what.
we do have kind of stuff, we should be able to get almost
Reimbursed?
all of our hours
Okay.
here in town.
Yep.
As far as the EMT goes, from what we do with Rob, he helps us out with a lot of it too, and then the online stuff that we're doing now, I am able to renew my EMT license with just the training we're doing here, but the paramedics have to do twice as much as I do. So they can't get everything here. Now, there's a lot of opportunities to go to other places, but some of the stuff, if they don't get it, they'll literally, I've seen them go pay for an online class or pay for something just to get the hours that they need.
Yep. So Jeff, to your question of, do we pay for the training? Yes. So the EMT, Rob has done a nice job redesigning basically, because it's in specific areas. So for example, cardiac, the heart, the other ones will be in kids, and special. So they'll break out certain criteria, and there's a very clear-cut requirement of how many hours you need to have every 2 years. Rob designs, I guess I should say, the chief designs the training around those criteria. And if you make all of our trainings, you should be okay to hit all those criteria every 2 years. That's for the EMT. The paramedics and the ones above that require, you probably are still gonna be missing some. Luckily, or unluckily, however you wanna call it, right now, there's only 2 of those advanced providers, so the majority of them are EMTs, so we satisfy that. If you are able to make every single training. So if you miss 1 or 2, you may have to make that up elsewhere. There are opportunities. This weekend, for example, Mercy Lou here in town is putting on a free course, a sponsored course that's funded, that we don't have to pay for, but it's still more of your time. I've had it to where I, ironically enough, was short my last cycle, and pulled up, and I had 8 hours that I didn't have, my schedule did not work to attend any of the free trainings, so yes, I had to pay online to take the online courses to get my certification renewed, my licensure renewed.
But we reimburse you.
Oh,
Not for that.
Okay.
we've
Anything
not
we
done
go
for
to
that.
Outside of our facilities here
Yep,
is not reimbursed.
yep,
That's just
there
ours.
was kind of a line that had to be drawn is in, we're providing the trainings, you need to show up to them. And then it was, well, if I couldn't, how many times could we, is your, I'll call it excuse, is your excuse as good as my excuse? And now we're both exempt, so I can go pay and you get to pay twice. You know, type of thing, the city gets to pay twice for training, so we kinda had to draw a line years ago of just, look, we're providing it, we expect you to show up, it's here, it's the included training, come do it. And if you don't do it and are short, you're expected to find it elsewhere on your own.
Don't plan your family pictures on a Wednesday night when you know you got training. You know for the whole year ahead of time, hey, here's, and that has happened.
Yep.
Does any of the EMT training, the certifications that you end up getting, does any of that translate and like go towards a nursing degree?
More of the nursing degree goes towards the EMT stuff
Say,
usually.
Not to my knowledge,
Okay.
I don't believe
Well, I
so.
just wonder if, you know, like Hawkeye or Allen have, or Unity Point, whatever you wanna call them, they've got the nursing programs. You know, maybe that's a way to get a recruit one way
Even
or
the career
another.
center.
You know, I'm just thinking of ways to
Yep.
get you somebody.
Yep, the only, just to that point, Adam, the only thing I think that I'm aware will cross over from any type of nursing level licensure and education is the nursing paramedic exemption, which is basically the full RN. So it's the 4-year program, RN, the whole deal. And then there's a couple of additional training things that they still have to take because nursing doesn't necessarily teach field medicine, more or less. So there's a couple skill sets they have to just be updated on. And then our medical director has to sign them off. But then they can practice as a paramedic. But again, that's late stage. They're already RN into their career. The two individuals that the chief and assistant chief spoke of are ones that are still trying to stick around to help us. They were actually on this last Saturday, but neither one of them live in town anymore as well. They just, and we've seen a lot of that. People just get in their lives, starting families, marriage, kids, you know, their
Divorce.
careers, and they've moved on, you know, so it's just out of town. So it's happy for them, you know, love to see people grow, but, sad that we've lost some good people that way. And yes, as the chief said, and I have no good, if you have a fix, please let him know, cause
Email us, I'll be happy to see it.
it is certainly not for lack of effort, especially on behalf of these two gentlemen. It's just a tough place. I mean, it's just anything with that volunteer side, and then even trying to pay per call. It's just, I don't know, we'll call it a tough industry unless you're going career, basically.
Have you thought about setting up a table at the chili supper or anything like that?
Every year,
Okay.
the applications are out. In fact, we fill out.
Tables, we have flyers on almost all.
Okay, I
our
guess
Yep,
I
yep.
haven't paid that close
Yep.
attention.
Yep, they'll be down, so we'll be selling our chili supper tickets this weekend, 'cause Super Bowl Saturday, Fairway's always gracious enough to let us sit up over there. We have applications right with us.
Okay.
We'll even fill it out for you. All we need is you to just show up on time. We'll even fill the whole thing out. I will personally fill it out for you.
Make sure you have a pulse.
Everybody listening?
Yep, absolutely. And it's on the recording. Please email it to your
We're gonna have
friends.
to do this at the next meeting.
Yep, yep.
I've been known to drop one off at somebody's porch before.
Yes,
or
we have.
leave it at the front door or a mailbox.
In somebody's house they bought, or?
Yep, yes, we have.
You knock and then take off running before they come to the door.
That without a conversation probably would go right in the circular file, so might wanna change that.
They probably make the Evansdale Facebook pages of somebody knocking on the door running.
Any more questions for the guys, Brian and Travis?
No?
We'll take solutions too, rather than questions, so.
Mayor, just again, so that it's on the recording for our
Yeah.
our faithful viewers, 47,000 was the rough estimate of current volume of numbers and pay and stuff
Yeah.
with the high numbers.
Right.
The numbers that you stated here secondly, as far as like 15 to 20 and 18, 25, did you get a chance to
I
run
did
that?
not.
So just a rough estimate for those that if they wanna do the math, great, we're probably guessing that would be cut in half, even maybe a little less.
Yeah,
So probably thinking 20 to 25,000 increase in the budget
no.
as far as the numbers proposed, just to kind of show that it's obviously still an increase, but we were guessed half, just maybe a little under.
Okay,
Thank you, guys.
yeah,
thank
we
you.
appreciate it.
And, we'll fill that out for you, Adam, and
We might have somebody for you here in like 25 months.
I was gonna say 25 minutes. I'm like,
As far as the rest of the fire budget goes, there's only been just a few minor increases. Mid-American Utility, the phone, internet, the water expense, quite a large increase there, just because the water increased. Ambulance billing, just a small increase there, just going based on what the, what the budget for the revenue side. Just a small increase in medical supplies. Data processing came down just a little bit. Building, ground, and maintenance. Other equipment came down about 55,000. We still are putting in reserves, another 100,000 for the ambulance we will be receiving in a couple of years. Pretty stagnant, everywhere else in that budget. Any questions on the fire budget?
Just a question on clarification. So if we were to consider the additional $47,000, using these figures, when you look at the grand total on paper right now and add 47,000 to that, that new total would only be about $5,000 more than the current year's budget. Am I missing something?
Yeah, but this current budget, we were budgeting for the side-by-side. So
Right, I'm just looking
50
at numbers though.
No, that's correct.
So this year we budgeted 385,000 and change. The new total by adding 47,000 to the requested budget figure is 390,000 and change.
It'd be about 400,000, right?
Okay.
400,000,
Yeah, just 390 roughly.
390, yep.
Yep. So yes, you are correct. The,
So while 47,000 sounds like a huge figure, it's only about 5,000 more than what we budgeted for the current year.
That's
Correct. Yep, because of some other, the UTV capital expenditure, we had, didn't we put a larger chunk for ambulance away?
We did not,
Not, okay,
no.
just the 100, okay. But there were,
Yeah.
I don't think there were a couple other things in there.
So in my mind, it's more manageable.
I mean, that one personally affects me. So I will follow the final vote on anything we do for fire, because that one, it's no mystery. But obviously I am an active member, and that pay structure change would directly affect me as well. So I will follow the lead of what my four counterparts would like to do there.
Any other comments, suggestions?
So are we looking at suggesting a change to what's on paper tonight? Or is this just,
I would like to
Gonna
work
be
the
re-
new numbers that the
Okay.
personnel committee, and myself
okay,
talked about for now. And then get it on the agenda now, or get it on the budget and send it out to you.
I think following Sandy's train of thought here, it might not be bad to run the numbers somewhere in the middle also.
Isn't that what you're gonna do?
Well, this is where it's at.
Well, I'm
So-
saying in between the 47 and the proposed maybe half of that you guys were just talking about.
20 to 25.
You know, 'cause,
Yeah.
I mean, that does make sense, what she's saying. I'm not saying that we need to maximize the budget 100%. But if we've got a little wiggle room, I mean, if they haven't gotten a raise in 10 years, we might look at it a little more. So I don't know.
Ryan, it hasn't been that long though, right? That where we went from the piddly 9 to 10.
I was gonna say,
I mean, 2-3 years ago, but that wasn't even. I mean,
Okay.
that was
I mean,
minimal.
the
That
figures
was-
seem kind of low for the amount of skill that the EMT would require. I mean, a driver, obviously, you want them to have good driving knowledge, at least,
Yeah.
but they don't really need medical training. But once you get above that, I mean, this is the people that we trust our lives with, I suppose, in between home and there. So,
Yeah.
Are you suggesting we run
knowing-
numbers for both scenarios?
Well,
He's-
maybe not
he's-
going straight to the 47, which, I mean, we already went to that number. So we've got, you guys are saying that with the other numbers that we just discussed, we'd be somewhere in the neighborhood of 22, 25. You know, what if we're 30, 35? You know, what if we can find something in there that's doable, that would keep us good for a while, take care of the people that are taking care of us. Just my train of thought there.
Yeah, and the one that I sent out to you for the fire budget, it went from 385 down to, with the original requested increases, it was 377, 232.
with the larger numbers, so that would be 47.
Yeah,
Wait, or how about this, just for time's sake, because I know we've got some others to
yeah,
cover.
we do.
Adam, yes. How about we just throw up good, better, best options? I can work with the mayor on it.
Yeah, and
as
actually,
well.
I was looking at it as a total.
Yeah, that's
so-
ultimately what it is.
Yeah,
Sorry.
just see if we can play with some numbers if that works. Okay. That okay with you, Mayor?
By the way, I was looking at it as a total, because this one here doesn't have your benefits on it. I brought the benefits in, because there was gonna be a increase in social security, FICA.
Sure.
IPERS, et cetera, et cetera. So
Yep.
that's total, the difference,
Yep. Okay.
the one I sent out to you. Yeah, moving on. We'll get back to you on that. So, building inspection, that's, there's an increase there, but the only reason that would increase is because we have more building permits. Because of all the hail damage and all that, the budget was a lot higher for this year. Actually, last year, we did an amendment for it. But we don't, besides Quick Star, which we've already received their initial building permit, there's a minimal amount to expect, unless we have another hailstorm. Hopefully, we don't. Not a lot of expense increase there. Vehicle operational equipment, we did increase that. He'd asked for a different vehicle. Is the 2012, right? Yeah. F-150, that's something that we'll have to put into consideration of getting something different, probably within the next year. I'm just giving you a heads up on that. All in all, that budget only increased about 5,000 from last year. And again, that's just because of nature of the beast. We pay 65% of the building permits written and inspected, just so you know that. Animal control, there was,
Oh, Mayor, sorry, the
Yeah.
one question I just had on the building inspections was just
Yeah.
the postage copies billings. We
We're-
increased up $300 from what we set, but from the history I show, we barely never break $100.
well, we've been paying for all the code certification letters. Now I decided he can pay for it. It's his department.
Okay, and that's, I was questioning, I was like,
Yeah.
I know we even said we were stepping up, actually sending some of these things out, but I'm like, it seems like a really big jump.
Yeah,
$26 to
It's-
1,300, okay.
yeah,
So we
we've-
just shifted a line item from a department
yes.
that was being covered.
From City Hall.
Got it.
From City Hall.
Okay, perfect.
Matter of fact, it's 6508 on page 6. As you could see, our postage, this was at October, we were already 986 in the hole. So,
So while we had an increase to that,
yeah,
we had a decrease officially, even though
Yeah.
I know it's adjusted, but
Yeah,
to offset, okay. Okay. That's what I wanted to
Okay.
clarify, cause I'm like, man, we're hitting $26 and we need a $300 increase. It's like, something ain't mathing.
yeah.
That's the new math for you.
It might be, it might just throw it at the dartboard.
Other health and social services, not a major increase there. Met Transit, what's that? Oh, I'm sorry, animal control. 3% increase, in the animal control wages. We did increase the other professional services as well as minor equipment, because it seems like every year we're just falling short. When you're talking kitty litter or cat food or dog food or whatever that we need for that department, or medical supplies or what have you, there's just a really slight increase. It's not even $1,000.
Does that include veterinary
Yes.
charges and that other?
Mm-hmm, yep. Any questions on animal control? Other health and social services, the only major increase there was $580 for Met Transit. It goes up about 3% every year, really to cover gas and mechanical expense as well. Library service is, I think Amy wanted to be here for that, but, the whole budget for library has only went up $2,802. Some of that is wages. There was an increase. We moved some things around. So the computers is gonna be more, purchasing computers, and the software support is gonna be like their IT, under 6517.
That was one I had flagged with the large jump. Is
Yeah.
that just, we've
Yeah,
moved
you
in
could
their
see it
maintenance
decreased
agreement?
in 6723, and it increased in 6517.
Okay, so that was
Because it
just-
should have never been in there to begin with,
Okay.
so.
Okay.
Any questions on library? That has been approved by their board.
Okay. The only one I had on it was, and if we've covered this before, or if I've just forgot, please forgive me,
That's okay.
overtime. How do we put overtime for the library? I just don't see how that, I mean, I get overtime for the police department, city crews, we call them in, snowstorms, I guess I understand where that is harder to control. But overtime being one of the most costly things of any labor wage, how does the library budget for overtime?
Yeah.
Like what is caused, and it looks like we've used some. That's the only one I didn't understand, was just,
Yeah,
and it's okay if you don't have the answer.
I don't have the answer.
We can certainly check, but,
Do you?
I think it's from like if she doesn't have a helper on Saturdays and she has to go in. I think that's it, but I can check with her.
okay, okay.
Or special events, like the safety fair.
And that's, I was wondering if it was community-based things, and that was a little bit, but,
That might have been.
and again, not that it's, when we're looking at a large multi-million-dollar budget, $250 isn't
Yeah,
gonna break it.
250 over.
But I was just
Year,
curious
yeah.
of just a very defined set, open hours, closed hours, and I'm like, how do we get overtime in the life? It was just a curiosity.
Should we stop
I
at
did
that
get-
point then?
What's that?
Oh, I thought, if we're done, you want
Oh.
to stop at that point?
Well,
Sure.
We had some others on the agenda, didn't we? Do we need to cover?
Some other items.
Oh, yeah,
There were other
of
items we
course.
still needed to take action on before the next one?
Sorry about that. Okay, we will, to be continued. I would suggest to get through this because we're already at the end of, next meeting will be towards the end of February. So do another budget meeting so we can at least get through Public Works and Sewer. Is that all right with everybody to meet again at 5?
Yes.
I believe so,
Okay.
yes.
Do you think we need to put it on the regular agenda as well?
In case we run over.
in case we run over and need to,
Yes,
Wouldn't hurt.
I'm open.
Okay.
Doesn't matter to me.
and it's nice to have it on the agenda just in case. How's that?
I'm here until you let me go home, so.
Okay. Number 5 on our agenda was request from mayor to purchase new server in the amount of $17,808.44 with computer troubleshooters. However, that was broken down to City Hall 8,900, Waterworks 6,700, and road use 2,200. There was 2 different quotes. I had many conversations with Justin, since that is his business, and he suggested highly that we stick with the solid state hard drives. That's the only difference between the two, is the hard drives. Another thing was, since it's Waterworks and we're separating Waterworks on the server itself, it's gonna require the larger backup drives that was quoted as well.
Okay.
So, do you guys have any questions regarding that?
Why is a battery backup $1,000?
Big ones for servers and stuff on them. They
So
have
this isn't the
technology.
thing that you pick up at Staples for your normal computer?
For a small little desktop would be. These are
Okay.
higher ends, longer runtime, more surge protection to them. They'll also have technologies in them. You'll see as they get more expensive, I think it's called SINWAVE, S-I-N-E. So it's a technology that takes the fluctuations in power that happen all the time away from the server that just causes extra wear and tear. There's a bunch of little extra things to it, but yeah, I mean, they're $1,000. I could put one that's probably in for 10 grand. I mean, they get big.
Wow.
Now, the one thing though that I will work with the mayor on, same thing with the NAS and everything, this will cover it all. They just replaced the battery backup 5 years ago with the server. That was
Yeah.
one thing that I mentioned, that we should be able to keep that, and until the batteries
Yeah,
tell us
I
it's
did
bad.
say that to
Yep.
him, so,
So that might be one we don't need right now, just until the battery tells us it's bad. We don't, it isn't like proactively on the hardware. We want to stay ahead of it, and when you don't have warranty on it, yes, replace it. Because if it dies, you're waiting a couple weeks and you can't operate, bad deal. Battery backup, if it dies, you just plug into the wall, and you order a new one, it shows up in a couple days. So a little different thought process. Then high level, just with the mayor as well, we looked at, especially since there was hardware costs and things to a capital expenditure, we looked of, can we get to, you hear about the cloud, can we host it, can we move it off-site? Multiple advantages and things with it. Unfortunately, the software that we are on was counterintuitive, counter-budget to host it. So it was, and if we have to have the software here, we might as well keep the rest of the stuff here. There's no reason to split it then. So this was still the more effective and efficient options to keep it here right now, unfortunately. 'Cause I'd
yeah,
love
it's
to
gonna be
get it done.
about to the tune of 11,000 a year.
And that
Just to-
was one out of
that
probably
was just
4
one.
things that we would need to move.
Yeah,
So yeah, and just, nope, not yet.
we're not there yet. May I get a motion to approve, please?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Request from mayor to enter into IT agreement with computer troubleshooters in amount of $20,830.05. That does include the Office 365 renewal that's always usually separated out, which is the 2426. As follows: City Hall 299.60, Evansdale Waterworks 69.43.46, and road use 25.86.99.
I move approval of the request.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And 7 is request from Police Department to purchase and install 3 new computers in the amount of $54.75 with Mainstay. Our original quote with them was a lot larger, and Justin can attest to this, but they've just had a huge increase in, huge increase in the laptops. There was another quote with that, direct from Dell. However, coming direct from Dell, we'd have to hire someone to install. So we'd have to hire someone to install and to transfer all the data, which is usually for 3 computers, probably, I don't know, 10-hour job.
Yeah, it'd be a hard day.
Okay.
Just to do it right. We average probably anywhere from 2 to 4 hours a machine, depending on how fast the stuff installs.
Okay.
And our rate's $175 an hour, so if you wanted just a quick comparison, even at 8 hours, you know, we're close to $1,000, just over.
Yeah.
So in your opinion, is this a good figure?
As far as so the biggest eye opener is the cost of the hardware. And in January of this year, because of all the data center AI activity and stuff, hardware costs in RAM and then the hard drives, the chips that are in the hard drives have skyrocketed. Just to give you a ballpark, same laptop I quoted in December was $1,800. That same unit now is almost $2,400. No difference. So it's just the hardware cost of itself, the supply and demand right now is driven sky high.
I move approval of the request in the amount of $5,475.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Can I have a motion to adjourn, please?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Does anybody need a quick break?
We missed it by a minute. Just as we adjourned, it clicked to 1. I'm like, dang it.